Steve, 9 players available. Just what do you take away from a game like this?
Just how scrappy our guys are. We got a lot of guys who play hard and play the right way. I'm sure our fans don't know this, but Malfoy is right-handed, and his wrist is really messed up. So that's why he shot those free throws left-handed. He had to shoot, I think, 3 of them. He's out there basically, playing with one hand, and he's flying around, and he's making energy plays, and it's just, we're totally shorthanded tonight, and I'm just really proud of the guys for the effort, the energy, the way they hung in, and hopefully that effort carries over to tomorrow. Hopefully we get some guys back, and but it matters. I told them every game matters. The way we handle ourselves, the way we play matters, and I thought they handled themselves beautifully tonight.
And Nate Williams played, I think it was 47 of the 48 minutes. Did you expect him to play that much, or is that just kind of how the game went?
We kind of knew, looking at because we only had 9 guys, and we had a couple guys on minutes restrictions too. So, and we played, 2 guys had 5 fouls, a whole fourth. So it was a little dicey there for a while, but we knew going into the game that Nate would play a lot of minutes. I didn't know it would be 46 and a half, but he handled it really well.
Steve, I was going to ask about Malfoy shooting left-handed. Just first of all, how impressive was it that he even made one of the free throws left-handed? But also, what was this conversation like with him and just him saying how he's going to gut it out and play for you?
Well, he's been doing this the last few games. So he hurt the wrist maybe a week ago, maybe longer. And every day at practice, he's shooting left-handed free throws. We had a game the other night, I think maybe in Dallas, and I designed a play. And he said, "Coach, can we run it on the other side of the floor so I can make the pass with my left hand?" I'm like, good point, So what this guy's doing as a two-way player, trying to make the league, he's smart. He plays with unbelievable energy, and obviously plays through the injury. Tonight was obviously we were overmatched, but our guys hung in there the whole time and gave a lot of guys some needed minutes. We only played Brandon 17, Draymond 20, with the back-to-back tomorrow. So it was a really good effort.
You've coached against Wembanyama now for a few years. You've coached against Wemby for a few years, Olympics also. Where has he made a leap in his game this season?
I just think he's got unbelievable confidence now. He just looks like he knows exactly what to do at both ends all the time, whereas I thought his, first couple of years he looked young at times. He doesn't look young anymore. He just looks like he knows exactly what he's doing. Obviously dominated the glass. I thought Draymond did a really good job on him defensively, and then there's plays where you can't do anything about it. Several lobs where it looked like a Nerf hoop, just catching it and dropping it right in. And you kind of have to give him a little bit of space because of his ability to drive. And a couple plays, Draymond gave him some space, and he just knocked down the jumpers. And obviously, 3-point range, 3 block shots. Yeah, he's brilliant.
Steve, how encouraging is what Seth Curry is able to do for you in a short burst like that, and just being healthy and making progress?
Yeah, Seth is he's total pro, just always ready to come in and play like he did, in that first half. And I'm really happy to have him back, and hopefully he can stay healthy, and be nice to get the brothers out there together.
With so many players injured, how much of this game do you just throw away with another game in 24 hours?
How much
of this game do you take away or throw away heading into tomorrow?
Well, we turn our attention to Cleveland right away. We won't watch any film of this game with the players tomorrow. We'll watch it as a staff, and I think the main takeaways from this game are we get a really good look at a lot of our young players. I love that LJ bounced back after the slow start shooting. He had an 0 for the other night, and he's such a good shooter. that it's important for him to feel this. Like you just are going to have stretches where you miss 7, 8, 9 shots in a row. And I thought he was a little tentative in the third quarter, early third quarter. And then he remembered to attack and get really aggressive. And so it's great to see him knock down shots. So, yeah, more than anything, this is about, watching a lot of the young guys and giving them a chance to play, and they did a great job.
Steph participated in pregame shooting drills for, I guess, the first time since the last game he played in. Obviously the crowd loved it. Is that just another encouraging sign of how he's feeling?
Yeah. He said yesterday he wanted to shoot on the court. I think it's purposeful instead of shooting downstairs. I think he wants to feel the crowd and show the crowd that he wants to come back. So that's the hope. And as we said pregame, he'll have another scrimmage here in the next couple of days. I think it's tomorrow, and then we'll see how he feels after that.
Spurs are one of the best teams in the league, but going forward in the playoffs, like the question with them is going to be, they haven't really been through it before in the playoffs. I guess my question is, where does inexperience show most in the playoffs?
Well, it just depends on the team and how things go. I think back 12 years ago when we had a very young team. We got down in a couple series, and that's where you have to sort of figure out if you can do it. You have to, no matter what it looks like, there's just going to be moments where you potentially can doubt yourself, and that's what being a young team is about. You've got to find that way to get over the hump, and so. That team is really talented, really well coached, and, they're going to be around for a long time, and their process will be, whatever their process is. They might just breeze through the playoffs, who knows? But chances are they're just going to face some really tough times, and what makes the playoffs tough is the days in between when you're down, 2-1 or 3-2 and all that time to think, and that's where a team really kind of figures itself out.
Steve, you were pretty forthright before the game, saying you've started thinking about the play-in and watched the game last night. Does that extend to envisioning sort of the rotations and like Seth, for example, plays well tonight? Mm-hmm. Here's a guy who hasn't played much of the year, but in short bursts could be a factor in a game like that.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's hard right now with all the injuries to really figure out a rotation, but we're hoping that. The last few games we'll have, guys who are healthy and able to play, and we'll be able to figure out some rotations in those last few games. That's the hope.